Okay. Look, if they had a Native American talking about fracking, it wouldn't have been more on the nose than the hefty chicks talking about being comfortable in their body.
She moved herself to tears.
Yeah. All right. Can I just say this? In a world where everyone is freaked out by third-hand smoke, and you're not supposed to have soda pops that are more than 16 ounces, and we're worried about salmon that's raised on a farm versus, and like I said, it's all smoking, tobacco. Hey, let's ban e-cigarettes. How about the negative health aspects of being 150 pounds overweight?
Yeah.
Is anyone, or that's to be celebrated?
Pride and shame is one thing, but if you were to ask any doctor, would you want your child to be obese, overweight, chubby even, versus have a healthy body? Of course they would say they want them to.
I think the point that she's trying to make is we're coming to understand that you can't shame people into being thin. Or at the very least, you can't shame them into being thin in a healthy way. They can shove their fingers down their throat, they can take a ton of diet pills, but you're not going to be able to shame them into being healthy. It just doesn't work.
Right. And, well, sort of and sort of not, because I've seen plenty of instances where people did get shamed into just about everything that worked. But there's still a difference between not shaming somebody and then celebrating somebody who's unhealthy. We don't celebrate smokers. They're unhealthy. We don't celebrate whatever. People don't wear seatbelts. It's not safe. You know what I mean? Like, we don't celebrate people riding motorcycles with no helmet. Like, there's still this thing of, like, I need to be celebrated for who I am. Ironically, coming from the people who are freaked out over, like I said, they've invented third-hand smoke. Fracking is going to kill. Fire's going to come out of your spigot. Like all radon gas is seeping from the floors. There's environmental allergies. I mean, all the people that are Purelling the most are celebrating the hefty chicks the most. You'll die faster being overweight than you will be a smoker.
But are you truly worried about her health, or are you just exactly?
I'm saying it's hypocritical to go after third-hand smoke and then celebrate hefty chicks. They both have negative health effects.
Yeah, the scale goes from shame to pride with a nice zero in the middle. And while I agree that we probably shouldn't, I don't think we should shame people who are overweight, but I don't think we should celebrate it either. I mean, there's a healthy take care of yourself, but I'm not going to. All right. Plus or minus.
Anyway.
But if she's two-fist in a hoagie, I don't get fat by watching her do that.
No.
I might get a little cancer on me if somebody's blowing a cigarette in my face.
Yeah, but the big argument of, as a society, we all pay because we have to pay your health bills and for smokers, and we do all that. Well, it's the same with the two-fisted and the hoagie thing. Either way, I tuned in just at the moment where the hefty chick was telling me she never felt better about herself.
That's unfortunate. I think we can all agree.
She was crying. And listen, I don't know, and you guys tell me, I don't want to sound like a prick. I'm just saying, when did we all have to feel marvelous about ourselves? I mean, what I'm saying is feel marvelous about your role in life. Be a marvelous dad, be a marvelous mom, be a marvelous motorist, be a marvelous lover.
Marvelous motorist.
Hey.
You got it locked into New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
That's right, cats and kitties, you do. You got tuned into today's Coffee and Cigarettes, the Wednesday Grinder on HTLA Radio 1 New York. And man, oh man, I got a fun show today, including your used cars. Yes, who do you think's buying your used cars? Well, hey, the terrorists. Of course they are. They're buying your used cars and they're using them in terrorist raids. Yes. Oh, yeah. Plus, I got 6 things that you can do to really annoy people on an airline flight. That's always fun. Yeah. So, hey, Jenny is in the booth today. Louie is via the satellite today. And it's time for some coffee and cigarettes. So without further ado, let's roll the Wednesday Grinder. Oh, that's right, gang. You got it tuned, of course, to HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. 52 degrees today in Central Park. Cloudy, but hey, it's 52 degrees in Central Park. That's a good thing. For this Wednesday, December 17th, 2014. 6 days now? Something like that? Damn. Yeah, it's pretty jolly out there, I tell you, boy. Oh yeah. So today on the show, like I said in the little segue there, we've got 6 things that you can do to really annoy people on a flight, and that's always, that's always fun. It just is. I love it when stories like that come out. Gives me new ideas, so I can fulfill my life. Yes, because it's unfulfilled otherwise. There you go. Yes, all kinds of new things. Yes, Islamic militants using our used cars in raids. Yes. I got some neighbors who got naked for a unique calendar as well. Yes. And the latest word from that whole stone shooting thing in Philadelphia there, I got some news on that. Yes. And, well, let's see. A second theater chain has pulled a movie called The Interview after hacker threats. Huh. Kind of interesting. What's going on with that, you might say? Well, we'll get to all that and more in just a few minutes. First, I got to do some station business, as always. And, of course, as always, the lovely show here is completely
powered by Procast.
Yes, it is. We don't use electricity around here. It's Procast. Yes. Also, this fine edition of Coffee and Cigarettes today, the Wednesday Grinder, is, of course, brought to you in part by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City. 8 locations to serve you in the city. And, serving all your coffee and baked goods needs. Always fresh. Yeah, that's what I got to say there. Yes, always fresh. And it is. That was a fresh one, too. Damn, I love it. And, of course, this particular show today, the Wednesday Grinder, helping you grind through your week here, we have the beautiful Jenny McCartney in the sound booth today with me here, producing the show and doing all sorts of other fun, funky, cool things. And, of course, with the Crash Talk kids, we've got them. That's right. And also live via satellite is the one, the only, Mr. Louis Lawless, a.k.a. Captain Northside, in the 1978 iconic hit smash, Planet of the Dinosaurs. Louis, are you there?
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
See? That film did well, I think, actually.
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
Well, then you should have your $25,000. Yeah.
I go a half an hour. Do I get 50,000?
What do you need with all that money? I don't understand.
I need to try and raise $25,000 to enter in the Academy Awards, and I think it's a fantastic risk because we have a tremendous chance. There's about 200 members that vote on it, and they all get. You have to give them a DVD now.
I know, but you never tell me the title of this new movie that you've done that you're submitting for the Academy Awards. So I'm going to say until you actually tell me what the name of the movie is that you're submitting, I'm going to say no.
That was a mistake on my part.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
You know, it just wouldn't be a Wednesday grinder if you didn't. There you go. So yeah, we got the kids, we got Louie, we got Jenny here, and we're just going for it on the Wednesday grinder. And I guess first up has got to be the Islamic militants buying your old cars and trucks and use them in Syria. Now, remember, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, 4 months ago, whenever the ISIL is threat came out, was announced, yes, and the subsequent YouTube videos showing the is terrorists at supposedly 100 100 strong, 100 guys in the desert in Syria with a bunch of AKs and their little terrorist scarves and that cool stuff. Do you remember way back then I said they don't even have a vehicle? Do you remember that? Well, I think they actually listened to the show because now they've got vehicles. Yes, they do. They're ours. Yeah. No kidding. They're ours.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you?
The music is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got to hear it.
I do, every single day. Well, in Texas City, Texas, a plumber's traded-in truck has actually landed in Syria, and the man's friends at home think he's been aiding terrorists. Yeah, true story. It's all because of a photo posted on an Islamic militant group's Twitter feed. It shows one of a Mark I Plumbing's old work trucks with its logo still on the side. This terrorist attack was brought to you by Mark I Plumbing. There you go. Turned into an anti-aircraft firing weapon on the front lines of Syria's civil war. We had no intentions or no idea that this would even happen, said Jeff Oberholzer, the son of Mark I's owner. He traded the truck in himself in November 2013 at an Auto Nation Ford dealership about 20 miles away in Houston. The truck immediately went to auction and likely traded owners over and over before apparently winding up in the hands of a Chechen group named Jahish al-Mujahideen Wal Ansar. Yes, say that 10 times fast. A dealership spokesman said, yes, don't look at us. We're not dealing vehicles to the terrorists. It's Jaish Mulharjareen Wal Ansar. The group primarily consists of Chechen and Russian fighters, but also has recruits from Europe and the USA, according to Terrorism Research and Analysis Consortium. Something we would use to pull trailers is now being used for terror. It's crazy, Oberholzer said. Never in my lifetime would I think something like that would happen. He said to take his phone off the hook because of the fallout of angry, even threatening phone calls from across the USA. Quote, we have a secretary here. She's scared to death, he said. We all have families. We don't want no problems. Tracing how the Ford F-250 pickup wound up in the middle of the Middle East civil war is nearly impossible. But Oberholzer said he's learned a valuable lesson in hindsight. Remove any company logos from vehicles before selling them. You don't know where they could end up. And, of course, there's the lovely picture of the beautiful truck with sitting on top of an anti-aircraft gun, which the morons seem to be having leveled to some ground targets in actual firing. And there is, of course, the Mark I Plumbing logo and the phone number. So you can give them a call and have a little AA brought to a function near you. There you go. Oh, man.
Bullshitters!
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I got lost. H-T-L-A. Oh, H-T-L-A. Hell is that?
You just touched the phone there. It's okay.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes. And we'll get right to that. Absolutely.
He called me, and he called me, and he kept calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone.
Oh, who called you now? Was it the terrorists?
Use power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Including the movie biz. No, there you go. So there you go. Isn't that something? I think that's something. Well, how about naked neighbors? Yeah, naked neighbors get naked for this unique and popular fun calendar. Yes, 2014 actually marks the 4th year that residents of the small town of Maine on St. Croix, Minnesota are bearing it all for their yearly calendar. You might be wondering, like me, why? And really, we can't blame you. But what this small town lacks in size, it makes up for in heart. The unusual calendar is for our very special resident, Tony Politz. Yes. The locals joke that Politz runs this town from her post at Ostland's Marine Garage. It's a position that she's held since 2001. Quote, people think it's the hub of the city, Politz jokes, but in 2010 things got scary. Politz was diagnosed with cancer. Quote, you gotta have a positive attitude or you're not gonna make it, she explains. Politz knows a little something about staying positive. Her cancer remains even after 16 rounds of chemotherapy and countless hours of radiation. As a show of support, her neighbors decided to use the yearly calendar as a fundraiser for Politz. And there you go. Against the doctor's advice, though, Politz can be found still working 50 hours a week, even with stage 4 cancer tumors pressing on her spine. Looking at the calendar, she says, helps give her a break from her reality. Ooh, yeah, I guess that would be a break from reality. Oh, yeah. This year, she and her husband are the month of May. Yes, so if you get the calendar, you can look it up. This is an amazing testament to people, how people truly are, says Politz. I guess she hasn't, read the news.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Well, if you're interested in this joyous little fundraiser for this lady who's survived 16 rounds of chemotherapy and has stage 4 cancer right next to her spine, you can go to vernapittsphotography.com. And we'll put the link in the show notes here so you guys can go ahead and check that out and go order them up for the Christmas season. Yes, actually, it's kind of the perfect gift for your family. There you go, honey. I love you. Yes. Oh my God, what is this?
Always with a female having a relationship, married or single, it's always better that they do the leaving.
Oh yeah.
If you do the leaving, it keeps that lingering thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, the lingering thing, kids. Yeah. So vernapittsphotography.com will get you your Naked Maine calendar. Yes, there you go, and it's $25 a copy, and it all goes towards the the continuing care of Politz there. So, good cause. Go get one just because. I think, Jenny, you get over there and get one. We'll hang it up in the studio here. And that way we can bring the joyous visuals to you, the listener. Well, we got to go for our first commercial break here on the old Wednesday Grinder. But when we come back, some more information on that Pennsylvania psychopath who killed an entire family. Yes, we've got it all here for you. It just doesn't get any better than this. We'll be back in 2.
You're listening to Coffee and Cigarettes with Christopher John Taylor on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
So do you guys think being fast is better than being slow?
Yes! It's better to be fast, to not be bitten by a werewolf, and then you'll be turned into one, and you'll have to stay in, and then you'll have to get shaved because you'll be too hot, and then you're like, which means I wish I was back to a human.
What?
It's not complicated. Faster is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G LTE network for your iPhone 5.
You walked into the hotel as a 5. But when she saw the room, you turned into a weird 7. When she saw the rooftop pool, you went to 11. You two should probably get a room. Oh, that's right. You already did. At Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
When you have cable and your picture freezes, you get irritable. When you get irritable, your work suffers. When your work suffers, the wrong man is convicted. When the wrong man is convicted, he has time to think. When he has time to think, he thinks about you a lot. And when he thinks about you a lot, your house explodes. Don't have your house explode. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I've been eating Egg McMuffins since 1984. But when I saw Taco Bell made a waffle taco, I figured I would get with the times. So I got a haircut and I got some tighter pants. Lost my flip phone, got a smartphone, even took down my Loverboy poster. Now I'm eating waffle tacos and AM Crunch Wraps, and I just made like $700 on Craigslist.
Move on from your old McDonald's breakfast with Taco Bell's exciting new breakfast menu.
HTLA's Coffee and Cigarettes. For the best talk, there's only one. HTLA Radio 1.
From all of us at HTLA Radio 1 New York, happy holidays! Yeah. Yeah, happy frickin' holidays. There you go. HTLA Radio 1 New York. Coffee and Cigarettes, the Wednesday Grinder. Still 52 in the Central Park, still cloudy, but no precip at all. I'm okay with that. Yeah, damn straight. So, as always, Jenny's in the booth. Louis is alive via satellite at the beautiful Mill Bay Studios in beautiful Mill Bay, British Columbia. I got to do some show shout-outs today. Devlon Crawford. Yes, there you are. Thanks for joining us. Also, Joanne Bagnall. Yeah, good to see you here. HTLA's own Guy Shea. Yes. The DJ bad guy of HTLA Radio 4 is in the house today. Yeah, on the Wednesday Grinder, you bet. Good to see you all here, and keep the faith, brothers and sisters. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, what else we got going on today on the old show? Well, through the week, I've been kind of giving you the latest and the updates on the fine gentleman who's, of course, went and killed his wife's entire family and then went and killed his ex-wife. And, yeah, now the latest story in the saga has come out today about why he may have done that. Of course, I don't think this is an actual news story. I think this is more speculation. Yeah, I do. I think none of us would have a single clue about why somebody would do something like that. And, you know, even trained psychologists, you know, they're only working with a bunch of theories, you know. That's all it is. There's certain realms of thought within the psychological community, you know, Carl Jung, yeah? Oh, I'm sorry, I know, it's pronounced Young, but, you know, you stick a J on it in front of a Canadian, and what's he going to do?
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Yeah. You know, and then there's the whole Freudian dealio, but, you know, that's just cocaine and penises. Yes, I actually took a little bit of psychology. Let me qualify that.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, no, I did it, and it was actually long before film school, so, you know, don't, just shut up.
The music is fantastic. Oh, you got to hear it.
Now, if I could only use my psychological training to help you. There you go. Well, anyway, let's move on with the speculation story. Now, it's not clear what specifically happened to make Iraq veteran, decorated, I might add, Bradley William Stone snap and kill his ex-wife and 5 of her relatives, seriously wound another, and then stab himself to death with cutting marks in Philadelphia this week. But an ongoing custody battle with his ex-wife Nicole Stone over their 2 young daughters seemed to be at the center of it, Montgomery District Attorney Risa Furman said. There's no reason, no valid excuse, no justification for snuffing out the 6 innocent lives and injuring another child, Furman said. Well, see, I've got an ex-wife, and no, I can see reason for that. Oh, come on, Louis, that was funny.
Use power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Yes, and I just got to mention again, you know, we get paid for the first mention on these shows of Tim Hortons, but, well, I'm going to give him a bonus one, because, damn, today's coffee is just so damn good. How about it, kids? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And yes, we do keep all the children here at HTLA completely caffeinated. Well, Furman said this is just a horrific tragedy that our community has had to endure. We're really numb from what we've had to go through over the past 2 days. Stone, 35, was found yesterday afternoon in the woods near his home in Pennsburg, dead from self-inflicted cutting wounds. The discovery ended the saga of one of the deadliest rampages in the region. Police SWAT teams mounted an intensive 2-day search for Stone. Reminds me of Romancing the Stone, yes. Search for the Stone. Where is the jewel of denial?
$88,000 a year they make, approximately average, 80s, let's say.
What?
And there's 1,000. That's $88 million a year that we're paying as taxpayers.
Who? What?
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, thanks for interjecting there. That was great. I was in the middle of a story.
Which woman are you married to or living with now?
None of that's relevant right now, Louis. We're in the middle of a story.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, of course I do. And on the pink slip too. Oh. Yes. The search for Stone, swarming neighborhoods, closing area schools, and leaving residents on high alert for the man authorities said was armed and dangerous. What do you mean leaving residents on high alert? What the hell is that? Everybody was sitting at home playing their PlayStations and watching TV and talking on Facebook. What the hell are you high alert? Okay, well, new details have emerged about the killings that began in the early morning hours on Monday. Freeman said the attacks were clearly premeditated. The first victims, according to an affidavit of probable cause released by authorities, were Nicole Stone's relatives in the town of Soderton. Stone shot Patricia Flick, his ex-wife's sister, and Flick's husband, Aaron. He also attacked the Flick's daughter, Nina, 14, in her bed, where she suffered massive blunt force and cutting and lacerating injuries to her face and skull, court documents say. Yeah, see, I got a problem with that, too. Marines don't kill that way. Sorry. Stone also attacked the couple's son, Anthony, 17, who was critically injured defending his sister, and survived when he barricaded himself in a bedroom, Furman said. Well, you know, if you're critically injured, you don't just go to another room and be okay. No. So which is it? Is he critically injured or just wounded and hiding out in the bedroom? Anyway, from there, Stone went to his ex-wife's mother's house in Lansdale, where he killed her mother, Joanne T. Gilbert, 57 years old, and her grandmother, Patricia Hill, 75. Man, there's some bad feelings if you're killing a 75-year-old in the family. Well, the murderous rampage ended in Harleysville, where police and court documents say he killed his ex-wife in her apartment. Nicole Stone was there with their daughters Kayla, 5, and Shannon, 8. The affidavit says shortly before 5 a.m. on Monday, a neighbor heard glass shattering and a loud bang and the girls yelling, "Mommy, Mommy, no." That'll be the title of the film, Mommy, Mommy, No. The neighbor said she heard a man's voice say, "We have to leave now." Furman said Stone drove away with the girls back to Pennsburg, where he left them with a neighbor and asked him to take the girls to their stepmother, Stone's current wife, with whom he had an infant son. The girls, as well as Stone's widow, are in protective custody, Furman said. Stone and Nicole Stone divorced in 2012, but they have been locked in a custody battle over the girls ever since, made worse when he learned that his former wife had recently sought treatment for drug abuse. There you go. Stone filed an emergency request for custody this month, but a judge rejected his petition on December 9th, Furman said. Friends and relatives have set up a GoFundMe site for Anthony Flick that has raised more than 13,750 buccarinos. Oh, yeah, because, you know, nothing erases tragedy quite like money. Yes. Isn't that right?
All right, go a half an hour. Do I get $50,000?
See what I mean?
I need to try and raise $25,000 to enter in the Academy Award.
I know.
And I think it's a fantastic risk
well,
because we have a tremendous chance.
Okay.
There's about 200 members
yeah.
that vote on it, and
I know.
you have to give them a DVD now.
I know, but see, Louis, all you have to do is go kill your ex-wife and her entire family, and then the money will be on GoFundMe.
That was a mistake on my part.
I know. Well, we're not all rocket scientists here, but hey, you know, use what Stone has given you. Yes, use it. Well, what other fun things do we got today? Well, how about 6 things to do while flying if you want to annoy everyone? Well, you know, it's nearly Christmas, which means airports all across the country and the world are indeed filling to capacity. Now, most people are, in my mind, not stressed out and anxious enough when it comes to traveling during the holiday season. It's not like they have to wade through crowds, TSA, and overpriced restaurants just to board a plane that is far too cramped for a seemingly endless flight. And talking about those overpriced restaurants, there's a little cafe or whatever the heck you call it in Hong Kong that, and I'm not even kidding here, you get a sandwich, and I'm talking one of those things in those plastic wedges, you know, the pre-made, you know, 2 pieces of bread, a little bit of, you know, 4-week-old lettuce.
Okay.
And a little slice of something that's supposed to be meat.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yeah, and you get that, and you get like a 500 milliliter of chocolate milk, and it's $50 US. You know, why bother going to all the trouble of 5-star restaurants? You know, why go to all that work to ensure that everything is just top notch for your clients like here in New York? Why do that? You can just open up a little, you know, sandwich shop in Hong Kong and be set for life. Oh, well, we can remedy that. Yes, we can alleviate all your stresses about that. Here's a list of things that you can do this season to drive everyone around you completely insane.
That was a mistake on my part.
Okay, I said completely insane.
The music
Yes.
is fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, you got to hear it.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Completely insane. Well, number one, you can definitely complain to an overworked airport employee about the tiny scratch on your suitcase. Now, this works much better if you make the scratch out to be a pretty deep gouge, quote, end quote, and berate the helpless employee. Bonus points if there's a long line behind you. And, of course, number two, walk very slowly. Now, come on, this is elementary, people. Everyone knows slow walkers drive people nuts. So if you're looking for a way to make an overworked mother of three on the way to her hateful mother-in-law's, pull every strand of her hair out, this is your best bet by far. Also, take up as many spots as possible at your gate. Spread out. Make it your home. Your carry-on gets a chair. Your personal items gets a chair. You get 2 chairs. This works great when the gate is full and there are other people, ideally those who are elderly, injured, or serving in the military. It's always fun. And one of my personal favorites, this is one I do all the time, be as loud and obnoxious as possible boarding the plane. Laugh loudly, shout across the aisle. Spend a solid 3 minutes getting all settled, including taking off your shoes and putting them in a plastic bag and then sprawling across your seat and your partner's seat. Hey, they're not there yet, so it's finders keepers, right? And when that inevitable flight attendant passes by, say you don't want a drink when she passes by, and then go up and ask for water multiple times. Those flight attendants don't have enough to do. I mean, it's not like working an 8-hour transcontinental flight with hundreds of passengers is a hard job, right? Nah, not at all. Yes, thank you. It's the ultimate horror. And number 6, this is another one of my personal faves. Recline your seat back as soon as you reach cruising altitude. And do not put it back up at any point in time, not for meals, not even if the person behind you gets on their knees and begged all teary-eyed and stuff, for you to put it back up. And, hey, what if they're 6'5" tall with bad knees? Hey, they'll survive. Just follow these 6 steps and you should be well on your way to mastering the art of being the most annoying person at the airport. Good luck with your awards.
I think it should be short and sweet.
And it is.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did. And put your name up there and dress in different stuff. So fantastic. If I can be of any help, let me know. So what's the email address?
Well, I don't know what email address you're talking about, but I don't know where. Well, I also, I guess, don't know where you get this dress up in different stuff. I don't understand that at all. You got me. Well, listen, gang, it's time that we take our second break of the afternoon here on the Wednesday Grinder. And when we come back, could you live forever? That's the question of the day here. Could you live forever? Because I'm about to tell you of a way that you could absolutely live forever by the year 2030. Yeah. Not even kidding. Yeah. You could live forever starting in 2030. So all we've got to do now is just make it to 2030 and we're set. We're immortal. We don't need to go through any of that werewolf transformation pain. We don't need to get sucked by a vampire.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
No, you may not. I'm just going to say that right now. Anywho, we'll be back in 2, and we'll get into immortality.
You're listening to Coffee and Cigarettes with Christopher John Taylor on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
You walked into the hotel as a 5. But when she saw the room, you turned into a weird 7. When she saw the rooftop pool, you went to 11. You two should probably get a room. Oh, that's right. You already did. At Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Yeah.
When you have cable and can't record all your shows, you feel unhappy. When you feel unhappy, you go to happy hour. When you go to happy hour, you're up for anything. When you're up for anything, you head to a Turkish bathhouse. When you head to a Turkish bathhouse, you meet Charlie Sheen. And when you meet Charlie Sheen, you reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Don't reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I've been eating Egg McMuffins since 1984. But when I saw Taco Bell made a waffle taco, I figured I would get with the times. So I got a haircut and I got some tighter pants. Lost my flip phone, got a smartphone, even took down my Loverboy poster. Now I'm eating waffle tacos and AM Crunch Wraps, and I just made like $700 on Craigslist.
Move on from your old McDonald's breakfast with Taco Bell's exciting new breakfast menu.
I stood outside assessing the situation. I knew it could be rough in there, but how rough, there was no way to know for sure.
Hey, guys.
Daddy, it's pink!
But hey, a new house, it's a blank canvas, and we got a great one, thanks to a really low mortgage rate from Navy Federal Credit Union.
Pink?
So she's a princess. You got a problem with that?
Hoorah! Hoorah!
4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union.
HTLA's Coffee and Cigarettes. For the best talk, there's only one. HTLA Radio 1.
From all of us at HTLA Radio 1 New York, happy holidays! That's right. He's just too damned happy. That guy right there. That announcer man. Oh, yeah. Well, we're back. 51 degrees now, Central Park. Just dropped one there. But hey, it's still above 50, and it's, December 17th. I'm pretty happy about that. And welcome back to the big show. I've given you all kinds of good stuff here today. Terrorist used cars and how to really annoy people on those holiday flights we all look forward to and love. Yeah. Why is this sad music playing? Get the hell. Thank you. Yeah. Oh. It's like Jenny lost her boyfriend or something recently. She's all sad and emotional, but hey, I'm not. I have no emotions. I'm a robot. Yes, I am. I am a robot. Yeah, okay, kill that. Yes, I am a robot, or at least I will be soon. Yeah, that's the official word from the Crash Jesus. Yes. I'm officially going to become a robot so that I may live forever and give you this goodness for eternity. Yes.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do
man.
On the show?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Come on, give me your worst right now. I'm going to stop the show right now where it is. Unload You give it to me. Just the worst. Come on. I've got my beep ready. There you go.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's a fucking American. Look how they took the country away from England.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Is that it? Are you done now? Yeah?
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth...
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to live forever, and so will coffee and cigarettes. Yes, I'm officially announcing today that as of 2030, when we finally make it there, and hey, it's only 15 years to go, we will have the ability to become immortal. Yes.
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
Actually, I'm sorry, Louis. See, it's really tough because I'm not sure you're going to make it another 15 years.
Bullshitters!
I know. But hey, what's the actual tech news you got for us today at the old coffee shop crash? Well, hey, I'm glad you asked. Mining asteroids, an activity that could produce the world's first trillionaire. 3D printed cruise ships and hospitals. But no more taxi drivers, firefighters, and, heaven forbid, journalists. Indeed, the future of the world, according to Thomas Frey, is not quite what you might expect. Frey is the executive director and senior futurist at the Da Vinci Institute. It's a 17-year-old think tank where he and others gather a group of high-profile intellectuals for deep conversations about tomorrow. And we mean high-profile. Regular contributors to these mastermind groups include nearly every sitting governor of Colorado, the think tank's home state. Well, that might set them back 10 years, actually. You throw a governor in there. CEOs like Yahoo's Marissa Mayer, the commissioner of the U.S. Patent Office, university presidents, and science fiction authors like David Brin. His most spot-on predictions have included calling the invention of prepaid credit cards as well as the proliferation of mobile communications technology, both of which he guessed back in 1998. And his prediction that we could eventually be able to suck moisture out of the air to create self-filling water bottles came true earlier this year. But not all of his predictions, as he readily admits, have come to fruition, and there are some harsh critics to this practice. Futurologists are impersonating public officials. No. Futurologists are impersonating public intellectuals. Yeah. Says Dale Carrico, a lecturer of critical theory and critical thinking at UCLA Berkeley. Here is what Frey had to say to us in our edited conversation here. We asked, what separates you from a fortune teller? Frey says the difference is a futurist uses a set of tools referred to as anticipatory thinking protocols. There are a number of techniques that are used specifically for stretching people's imagination and expanding their understanding of the future and the universe as it exists. As an example, there are a little over 600 cycles that are being tracked in the world, from the Earth going around the sun to trends that permeate workplaces and technologies. So tracking these cycles is a very good starting point. We asked that you wrote a piece in 2012 called When Death Becomes Optional, and said humans will be able to switch bodies by 2030. It received some criticism. Do you still defend that hypothesis? Frey says, I'm not sure if the timing will be the same, but I have since written a piece on how long it will be before we can 3D print replacement body parts, because we're using 3D printers now to print bladders, spleens, and kidneys, pieces of liver, and heart valves. Some of these devices are working with stem cells, so there's this notion that sometime in the future we can actually 3D print our entire body. Experimentation is happening all over the world as we speak. I'm not predicting we will get there. I'm asking, can we get there? And it's this can we, should we stuff that's worth debating. If everyone could suddenly live to be 1,000 years old, what creates a whole other set of issues to look at? Most people have this notion in their head that every prediction is so true. Well, a lot of the time, the prediction is intended to start a conversation. And to that, I would kind of ask, well, you know, what would the sex industry look like? We'd just be printing a bunch of porn stars and call it a day. There we go.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Well, we asked him more concretely, what do you think daily life will be in 2030? He says in 2030, the average person will wear printed clothing, own more than one robot, and have a robot, have to reboot their career 6 times because the whole issue of technological unemployment. They'll have to switch gears a lot. I've predicted that half of traditional colleges are going to fail by 2030 because they will not be able to adapt to those new realities, and people will need to learn things in a much shorter period of time. I've also predicted that over 2 billion jobs are going to just go away, and that's not intended to be a doom and gloom statement, but more of a wake-up call, because jobs are currently being eliminated at a faster and faster rate. On the other hand, the flying drone world is going to take off. See what he did there? And I think driverless cars are going to produce a lot of exciting new opportunities and freedom from DUI charges. Yeah. We asked, why are many of your predictions so positive about the future? Yeah, I just had to get that one in there. Frey says, when I was a kid growing up, I would see covers of Popular Science and Popular Mechanics magazines with these fascinating images of the future, and I just couldn't wait for it to happen. Today, if you ask the average person on the street what they think about the future, there's lots of fear, lots of trepidation. Yes, things will go wrong, but when they do, it's an opportunity. We live in such exciting times, I couldn't imagine a better time to be alive. Yeah, so when things go wrong, it's an opportunity. So maybe we should rename this show The Opportunity.
Use power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. You see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Yes, thank you for that very much. That's excellent. And, yes. Oh, come on, kids, break it up. Tim Hortons, always fresh. Thea threw in a third one. Yeah. That's right. They'll be giving us a nice, healthy Christmas bonus this year.
The music is fantastic.
I know.
Oh, you got to hear it.
I'm there. I'm all over it. I've got the music going, and it's just going.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
For the 958,284th time, yes. Lawless. Well, our final story today on Coffee and Cigarettes brings us to good old San Francisco. In the news that a second theater chain has pulled The Interview movie after hacker threats. Yes. A second theater chain has pulled The Interview after hackers posted a message threatening a 9/11-style attack on theaters that screened the Seth Rogen, James Franco comedy. Really? Bowtie Cinemas, the nation's 8th largest chain, announced Wednesday that it will not show the movie about an assassination attempt by bumbling journalists against North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Yeah, I got a few things to say about this. You know it's coming. The chain was saddened and angered by the threats, CEO Ben Moss said in a statement. Because the credibility of the threats couldn't be known, Moss aide Bowtie has decided after careful consideration not to open The Interview on December 25th, as originally slated. We hope that those responsible for this act are swiftly identified and brought to justice. Yeah. The chain has 55 theaters in Colorado, Connecticut, Maryland, New Jersey, Virginia, and New York, with approximately 350 screens. Tuesday night, Carmike Cinemas, the 4th largest cinema chain in the country, decided to cancel its planned showings of the film as well. Carmike operates 278 more theaters across the country. Events surrounding the hack attack on Sony Pictures Entertainment began to cascade late Tuesday after the hacker's message went public. Federal officials say they're close to finding the source of the hack. A federal law enforcement officer familiar with the situation but not authorized to publicly speak about it could not say when an answer might come. A note from the Guardians of Peace group posted online at Tuesday morning warned potential moviegoers, quote, "We recommend you keep yourself distant from the places at that time. If your house is nearby, you should not be there. We will clearly show it to you at the very time and place the interview will be shown, including the premiere. How bitter fate those who seek fun in terror should be doomed to," it continued. The New York premiere of the comedy, which depicts an assassination attempt against North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, was canceled Tuesday night. A spokesman for Landmark Sunshine Cinemas said it had been scheduled for Thursday. The West Coast premiere in Los Angeles took place without incident back on December 11th. Sony will not withdraw the film following the threat, but is leaving it up to the theater owners and chains to decide whether or not to show the film. A source similar to or familiar with the situation said late Tuesday. Peter Bart, former editor of Variety magazine and a longtime executive at Paramount Pictures, says it's unclear how Sony should proceed. There are only so many levels to this, it's hard to deal with any kind of intelligent answer on what to do next, he says. I have had actors and stars die in the middle of productions. I have had federal government threaten to do nasty things to me if I released a picture. I have seen a number of phenomenon, but I have never seen anything coming close to this sort of thing on any level. The interview is scheduled for a wide release, which would put it somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 theaters. Given that it's an R-rated comedy, it will probably open to 2,000 to 3,000 theaters, according to Paul Dregabedian, a senior media analyst at Rentrack, which does box office tracking analysis. Sony stands to lose tens of millions of dollars if theaters choose not to screen the movie. Published reports estimate production costs upwards of $44 million. In terms of the response, it's likely to elicit from law enforcement the shift from simply posting stolen files to threatening potentially thousands of movie viewers is game-changing, said Tom Kellerman, Chief Cybersecurity Officer at Trend Micro, a computer security company. It represents a clear and present danger, remember that quote, to civilians, and additional resources and capabilities can and will be brought to bear because of it, he said. The language in the message posted by the hackers is in conjunction with their release of Sony data files is taunting, but increasingly veered into threats. Tuesday's post was an escalation. However, because it was the first that had mentioned actual violence, they're just now taking it seriously. With a physical threat made now, the gloves are off, said Philip Lieberman, a security expert with Lieberman Software. This is a well-known bright line, and I can't believe they've crossed it, Lieberman said. He called it a tactical mistake on the part of the hackers. Anyone who is familiar with the assets and capability of the United States would never do what they did, he said. I guess you don't remember 9/11. Yeah. Law enforcement had been investigating the Sony hack since it first became public November 24th. The FBI is aware of recent threats and continues to work collaboratively with partners to investigate the Sony attack, said FBI spokeswoman Jennifer Shearer. In addition to the threat of life and limb, it gives police and federal agents one tool in their efforts to track down. I'm not even going to finish this. You know why? This is all PR. This is all press. This is all fluff. They're going to limit the release of this film to maximize profits and get the most people in the theaters. Because now you're watching this movie under the potential of death. So you're a hero, too, in Sony's eyes. This is all a scam. This is another Blair Witch marketing dealio. And that's my 2 cents. Yes. Well, it's time to go on the old Coffee and Cigarettes Wednesday grinder. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's been a blast, and coffee and cigarettes and all that good stuff has been fun. We'll catch you, of course, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, again, for another edition of Coffee and Cigarettes, a Thursday show, and that'll be fun, too, damn it. Or it's free. Oh, wait. There you go. Thanks to Jenny in the booth. Thanks to the kids in the house here. Thanks to Louie on the satellite. And we will catch you all tomorrow. Stay tuned tonight for Real Talk with Kate Taylor, coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern on HTLA Radio 1.
got it locked into New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1, New York.